What up YouTube, it's Misery's Company. In today's video, we are jumping straight into the absolute best farming build for the Wizard in Inferno 1 and above. It is about that time where you're going to be wanting to grind Inferno 2, and this build will help you do just that super quick, assuming your CR is where it needs to be. Honestly, this has been my go-to build before Inferno 1 and the previous Hell difficulties, and it only gets better and stronger now that we are in Inferno with having the 2 main hands and 2 offhands. So without further ado, guys, let's get straight to the video. I'm very excited to bring it to you. All right, so we're going to showcase the build just a bit here. It is very straightforward. It's literally, you're just going to basically hit all your buttons and then walk. You're just going to walk around. There are a few little adjustments you can make to make it even better. I'm just going to do my best to keep this up as much as I can. And then you can see you sort of rotate, if you will, off of the different skills, tagging as many as you can, and then rotate them back. I basically have my little ball up at all times. I almost have 100% uptime on it, with the exception of, like, I want to say like 2 seconds. And obviously, the higher resonance you are, the different, you know, secondary gems or normal gems you have, the better the damage numbers will be. But honestly, even with someone at my current resonance, which is just over 3,000, and my normal gems being kind of mediocre at best, I want to say I have like all 5s, maybe 1 6. So like my damage isn't amazing, but honestly, it's still very good for this build, and it's much faster than any other build that I've had on any class. I dare say this is the best farming build in Diablo Immortal currently, even with the fully kitted out Barbarian. If you haven't seen that video already, I gave you my thoughts on the Barbarian. A little lackluster. In fact, I was very eager to get off of it as soon as I can. And it could be just me not enjoying the class or it being bad. I don't know. It could be either one, could be both. I have no idea. But as you can see, this is very mindless. I could keep talking all day and keep this up. I am using the Treasure Hunter Paragon tree, so I don't even have like the super easy mode to keep up your count. Like I can easily get over 100, if not 1,000. And I have done so on several different occasions, both by myself and in a group. So which is why this is just my go-to. If I know I'm going to be farming for long periods of time, i.e. farming the next Hell or Inferno difficulty, this is the class I'm jumping to. I also have all my Essence Mastery maxed out. Actually, I didn't realize I killed all those there, so wasted time. But yeah, I literally could keep this going all day by myself. It's very mindless. Basically, your skills come off cooldown, and you click them, and then you just move around. Got a nice little speed boost as well with the ball. This is a build that previously was known as the ball build. Now it's just the best farming build, period. End of story. GG, go next. All right, we're going to let this fall off, kill this last little mob, and then we're going to showcase the actual build itself, and then talk about some of the different set gear you need or you could want to use. Honestly, it's going to be whatever you want, minus Vithu's. Sneak peek. So let's go ahead and jump to the armory so I can showcase the actual skills and build for this build, or the essences for this build. Let's go. Okay, so here we are at the armory. There's actually 2 different versions of this I do want to talk about. The first one is the straight up farm build. For the headpiece, it's the scorching, flaming orb. Scorch now conjures 4 flaming orbs that orbit around you and explode when they strike enemies, damaging and burning all nearby enemies. Scorch damage increased by 18%. Again, Essence Mastery for my wizard is ranked 4/4, which is max. Shoulders, we are increasing the knockback distance, if you will, but the main reason we're using these shoulders is because of the cooldown reduction of Scorch, which helps keep it up as much as possible. Going down to the first main hand, we are using Chaotic Companion. Arcane Torrent now creates a chaotic orb that moves with you and fires arcane missiles at random nearby enemies. Arcane Torrent damage increased by 18%. Lightning Nova damage increase for the other main hand. Basically, that's your ball form. The more damage you do in it, and the longer you're in it, the better, obviously, which is really how this build just gets even better than what it was in the previous Hell difficulties. Chest piece, Lightning Nova now transfigures you into a ball of pure lightning, allowing you to move at a high speed and continually deal damage to any nearby enemies. Lightning Nova damage increased by 18%. Love it. That's the bread and butter of this build. Pants are also very important. It actually gives you a couple different options here. So Meteor Shower. Meteor now calls down a meteor shower that follows you, damaging and burning nearby enemies, but it is no longer stunned. Meteor damage increased by 18%. First offhand, Scorch damage increased by 19%. Again, basically we want to Scorch and Electric Ball or Lightning Nova as much as possible, thus improving those skills the most with these essences. And then moving on to last but not least, and this is where you can sort of switch it out if you want to. There's only 2 real options here, and you're going to see the other one in like sort of the alternate build that I call the dungeon build for this. But this one is casting Lightning Nova temporarily increases your movement speed by 60%. Lightning Nova cooldown reduced by 3.6%. fully transparent, you're going to be basically be hitting way over movement speed cap for about 3 seconds as soon as you cast Lightning Nova between this one and the offhand. So you lose about 10% because you're going to be well over 100% with the combination of the two. But honestly, I still notice it as a nice little quick like jump, which helps you move a little bit quicker. But also I use this offhand instead of the other one because of the cooldown reduction to Lightning Nova. In addition to the beneficial effect duration extensions I have in my gear, this is what helps keep my Lightning Nova up at 100% uptime. So while you might not get the full value of the temporarily increase of movement, you do get some of it, and the main thing here is the cooldown to Lightning Nova. This is a big change compared to other people's build that's similar to for this wizard farming build. And I feel really strongly that I get enough value out of that 3.6%, again, with the combination of all the other beneficial effect duration that I'm getting. Now, the only changes here, if you were to flip over to my dungeon build, I change one of the offhand. So instead of buffing Lightning Nova, I instead do electrocute leaps to 3 additional enemies and electrocute damage increased by 9%. That's going to be our main attack. And then the other offhand switches, instead of the speed boost, we're going to instead do electrocute. Also increases your primary attack speed by 6% for 3.2 seconds, stacking up to a maximum of 5 times. Basically, this allows you to auto attack a little bit faster, or main primary attack a little bit faster on those like single target fights when it comes to the dungeons and or bigger mobs that you can't just blow through with your farm build. I fly through this for my daily dungeons. It's very, very fast, and I very much enjoy it. I didn't go over the skills, but basically you're using Electrocute as the primary attack, Lightning Nova, Scorch, Meteor, and Arcane Torrent. Set gear, you really could use whatever you want. I've been bouncing around between a lot of different classes currently because I really wanted to min-max my ability of all like the 1 day cooldown and try to get as many of my builds updated as I could before that switches off. Biggest thing here with this build is Vithus. That's going to be the one you want the most because that does help you with the 30% increased beneficial direct duration. I think the other one I'm using is like Banquet. I'm using 2-piece Banquet and then 2-piece Grace. I think that was because I was on the Barb, but all continual damage, channel damage, and persistent ground damage increased by 15%. No, this is actually good for the Wizard because this is going to be persistent damage. So this is actually the 2-piece Grace, 2-piece Banquet, and then 2-piece Vithus is what I would recommend for most people if you're focusing on this build to just really min-max it to full potential. Like I said, I'm going to be on this build for a long time. I very much appreciate this build and love it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I think this is by far the best farm build of any class in Diablo Immortal currently. Let me know if you disagree, and let me know which one you think is better. And until next time, lock it in.